want, baby, do you want?
YouTube, what's good, y'all boys? Man, it's your boy Amari back with another one in a while, yeah. Today we have my favorite depiction of immortality anime. It's been a while, I know. 10 days. Wasn't consistent. I'm back now. Apologize. A little in my head about things, so I was like, let me just chill, take a break. But yeah, we back, bruh. I seen somebody reacting to this video, so I was like, scrolling, like, oh, you know what? Let me watch this joint for myself, see what it's about. Should be a great video. It's what? How long is it? 28 minutes. We ain't gonna pause too much. We're gonna get right into this, man. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, man, get right into this, man.
You're no longer human. You're a demon.
Immortality, or the idea of living forever, is
Orochimaru?
something that I find genuinely fascinating.
I am about to become so much more.
It's one of those concepts that has been used in fiction for as long as people have been asking themselves what it would feel like not to die.
Low key.
One could even
Oh,
say
look at my
it's
go,
an
Yuji.
immortal idea. Ha! In some series, it's just a cool way to make a character impossible to kill. In others, it's a source of unimaginable
I've seen that before.
pain and suffering.
Yo, I seen this before. I forgot what it was called. He's just like on fire for like his whole life, right? Like, I don't know. That shit is so crazy to me. Like, it's like eternal fire, but he can't die. I forgot. It was something. I forgot what it's called.
And in some cases, it can even become a way to explore what makes living life beautiful in the first place. So amongst those hundreds of wildly different, weird, and crazy depictions of immortality, I picked the ones I believe explore the idea in the most interesting ways. Today, I will show you my absolute favorites.
Wait, I thought Frieren, I thought she was just, she's not immortal. Isn't she just like is she just an elf and they just age? They just live for like thousands of years? I don't think she's immortal. I might be tripping about that. I ain't watched too. I ain't lie. It's certain, I ain't lie. Certain things I ain't watched. Like, Frieren, I think I seen, how long did I watched Frieren a minute ago. It was like one episode.
For Tappei Nagatsuki, the writer of ReZero, immortality means dying again, and again, and again, until you find a solution to live.
He be going through it.
ReZero follows Subaru Natsuki, a very average teenager who suddenly gets transported into a fantasy world. At first, he is 100% sure he is just living out the exact adventure he's always dreamed about, with magic, knights, beautiful ladies, until he goes into a tavern and gets brutally slain out of nowhere. But
yo, I ain't gonna lie, low-key got it. My bad for pausing. I low-key got to check out ReZero. I watched season 1 like so long ago, bro. I don't even remember what happened. Like, that's how long it's been.
instead of staying dead, Subaru wakes up back at the start of the day like nothing ever happened. He sees a person he had already spoken to before, but when he approaches them, they do not remember him. And this is when he realizes that every time he is slain, the entire world resets to a fixed point.
Yo, did you see that?
Every time he is slain, the
CGI
entire
is
world
crazy.
resets to a fixed point in the past. This is an ability called Return by Death. At first, this looks like an incredible power, but the longer the story goes on, the more you understand it is not. Subaru goes on dangerous adventures where he meets tons of companions. Sometimes he spends days, even weeks, building trust with someone only to lose all of it in like a second. But once he perishes, from everyone else's point of view, those relationships never happened. He carries grief for people who are still alive, guilt over mistakes that technically never happened, and memories that literally nobody else can share with him. He feels real terror and pain, and
what I can say about this, bro, is he actually probably low-key has one of the strongest wills I've seen. I can't name too many people that would keep going on after that shit, man. They would just, I don't know, I could.
Full emotions of watching those he loves disappear right in front of his eyes. And trust me, every single death hurts.
Yo, bro, you a
all
G.
the time he spends suffocating, breaking bones, every last breath, he feels all of it. And on top of all this, Subaru can't choose where his save points are, and he can't tell anyone about Return by Death either, because the spell literally blocks his voice whenever he tries. Eventually, all these resets start piling up.
I don't remember any of this.
He develops
shit.
crushing self-doubt, overwhelming guilt and crashes out on numerous occasions. His immortality doesn't really feel like a broken ability or anything overpowered. Instead, it's something that removes the one thing that actually makes human suffering bearable: having someone else to go through it with you. But despite all of that, my man pushes through anyway. I need to make this very clear. Unlike most other protagonists, Subaru does not start out special in any kind of way. He is not a gifted swordsman, he is not skilled with magic, he does not have crazy strength or anything like that. Compared to pretty much everyone around him, he is weak. But what he does have is immortality and perseverance. Every single rewind leaves him a little more messed up and also a little more knowledgeable. And that
I gotta watch
what
ReZero
makes him
again,
capable of solving impossible situations and finding the perfect timeline where everyone survives.
Like low-key thinking about it, they probably think this dude is like a god level, like I don't even know, like, what is a word for it? Oh, is it? No, it's not that. I can't think of the word. Don't call him a mastermind. I can't think of the word right
Every
now.
crazy heroic moment is built on top of dozens of failed attempts nobody else knows about, and tons of sacrifices. We, as the audience, do see the whole insane journey, but the people he actually saves only ever get to see the one successful run. Subaru almost never gets any credit for what he pulls off, and yet he does it anyway. We see him at his worst, and we see him at his best. But in the end,
I think I remember the girl with the blue hair. I think she killed him in one of the things.
His own flaws,
might be tripping.
and gradually grew out of the regular guy he once was into someone who's capable of saving the people they love.
Nah, I gotta watch ReZero.
For JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, immortality means
I gotta watch ReZero. Okay, JoJo Bizarre, I have not. This is like the one anime I know absolutely nothing about, I think. No, it's probably more, obviously, but this one is that I know nothing about this shit.
You have enough time to ruin the life of your worst enemy and their kids and their kids' kids. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure follows the Joestar family.
Isn't there a new MC in every
basically
season?
Generations, with each one facing increasingly insane threats. Every part brings in a fresh main character. But one guy manages to loom over the entire series for like 300 chapters straight. I present Dio.
It's useless.
I heard that name before.
Useless.
Oh, he has like a star tattoo on his back?
Dio
I'm
shows
tripping.
up at the beginning of part 1. He starts out as this poor kid who gets adopted into the wealthy Joestar family. And even though he literally lives in a mansion with the coolest people out there, he slowly starts feeling jealousy, resentment, and a burning need to be better than everyone around him. Through a series of very weird events that I don't have time to go through, that ambition leads him to the Stone Mask, an ancient artifact that turns him into an immortal vampire. Once he's a vampire, he stops aging, and his physical abilities increase.
Would you guys want to be immortal? Like, thinking about it, like, some people be like, yeah, of course, who wants to, die? Of course, nobody does, but happens to everybody. But if you really think about it, like, think about this. If you're immortal, like, you will live on forever and ever. Like, even when the universe, like, crumbles to dust and whatever, and all that type of shit, like, you would, like, dead ass be just like what? Like, just floating in space and just, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about all that, man. When there's nothing left in this whole universe, you'll be just like constantly just floating around in space, just run like that's nah. That is like the worst suffering. Like you would legit go crazy, bro.
Exponentially. Like my man,
Like beyond
he bounced
crazy.
back from injuries that would end anyone else. In fact, after his first big fight with Jonathan Joestar, the very first protagonist of the series, Dio actually survives by attaching Jonathan's body to his own head and then spends decades chilling at the bottom of the ocean before finally resurfacing. And now he has all the time in the world to slowly build up followers, study new powers, and patiently wait for the perfect moment to strike back. A very petty man indeed. By the time part 3 of JoJo starts, over 100 years have passed since his original showdown. And yet,
Damn.
Dio is still the main threat. Whole generations of Joestars end up dealing with the fallout from a guy who just refuses to stay dead. He surrounds himself with people who are completely
Yeah, that star tattoo, I know I
loyal
seen
to him, some of whom spend years just preparing for his return. One of the big themes in JoJo's is the contrast between the Joestars and Dio. The Joestars get stronger because of the people around them. They pass down their courage, ideals, and strength to each other and to the next generation. While Dio, on the other hand, gets stronger by hoarding power for himself and, manipulating people. Eventually, he does get taken down at the end of part 3. But even then, his influence never really goes away. He's actually the reason there's this huge wave of stand users in later parts, which, are basically people with superpowers. Giorno, the protagonist of part 5, is
I don't know nothing about this yet, so I'm just listening.
Ungaro, and Rikiel, minor antagonists in part 6, are 3 sons who inherited Dio's darker, more, unstable traits. So he might not have lived as long or been quite as unkillable as some other immortals out there, for sure, but his actions keep shaping the entire JoJo series long after his original rise to power. In fact, my man has even made his way into a brand new video game and also today's sponsor, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: The Golden Spirit.
That was a real smooth way of doing that, kid. Say kid, buddy.
Level them up.
Nah, we definitely gonna check out some of these animes after this shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Special story that. What? I don't understand why you're looking at me like that. This amount of rewards.
Because you scared me.
Items, rare Jotaro Spirit. Can you please do it now? Because otherwise he's going to. For Land of the Lustrous, immortality means having enough time to become the
Never heard of this
you
either.
always wanted to be, only to realize you hate that person. Long after humanity has vanished completely, a race of immortal gemstone beings called the Lustrous is born, each one with different levels of hardness, strength, and abilities, depending on the mineral they're made of. And among these immortal gems is Phosphophilite, or Phos for short. At the start of the story, Phos is energetic, naive, and childlike, but with a hardness of only 3.5 out of 10, they're way too fragile to actually fight. And since they don't seem to have any other useful skills either, the other gems kind of treat them like a burden, a piece of garbage, which is very unfortunate because more than anything else, Phos just wants to be useful. While every other gem is perfectly fine just continuing the life they've always had, Phos can't stop asking questions. They spend literal centuries digging into the truth about the other races that live on this planet, their teacher whom they know nothing
I'm so locked
about,
in right now. Oh my god.
the world itself. But every answer comes
I've
with
actually never heard of this.
The thing is, unlike humans, the Lustrous do not age, they're immortal. Instead, their bodies shatter just like, a stone. And whenever a gem loses part of their body, that missing piece can get swapped out, either with the original or with some other compatible material. As Phos goes on adventure after adventure, they keep losing limbs, chunks of their body, and eventually their head. At first, it is kind of exciting, because new legs means Phos can move faster than before. New arms make them way stronger, and finally capable of helping others.
This sound
New
fun.
head makes them smarter, and able to make friends more easily. Every replacement kind of seems like a straight up upgrade. But little by little, the more Phos's original body gets replaced, the harder it gets for them to remember who they used to be. Old memories start slipping away. Relationships get weird and distorted. That cheerful, optimistic energy they had in the beginning slowly gets replaced by isolation, obsession, and loneliness. In the end, Phos actually gets exactly what they wanted. They become stronger and more important and more capable and everything else. They end up knowing things no other character knows and transforming the world in ways no one could have even imagined. But in a very weird way, despite Phos's immortality, they still go through a kind of death, not a physical one. Instead, they get rebuilt piece by piece until there's almost nothing left of the eager, hopeful gem who just wanted to be useful.
Oh,
Undead Unluck.
Yo, hold on. I have never. What the hell is that? What was it called again? Yo, we gonna come check it back out later. Yo, that actually sounds fire. I've never even heard of any concept like that. That was 100% new to me.
the ability to use any part of your body as a weapon. Basically, the whole series is built on this genuinely insane concept: superpowers that cancel out reality. Let me give you an example. The main character, Andy, has Undead, which is the power to cancel death itself. But here's the thing, unlike a lot of regenerating characters who just heal up from injuries, his powers make his body instantly rebuild itself from pretty much any damage you can imagine. He loses a limb, it grows back. Organs completely destroyed, they grow back.
I've heard of this one before, but I didn't know this.
Particles,
I just thought it was zombies and stuff.
Everything grows back. And because his life is never actually in danger, my man fights like an animal. Every battle turns into this puzzle where the answer is usually to wreck his own body in some creative way. He turns his blood into swords, or uses it as rocket boosters, or even shoots his freaking fingers like bullets.
That's fire, I can't lie.
But underneath all that ridiculousness, there is a genuinely tragic backstory. The truth is, Andy has been alive for centuries. He's seen more pain and loss than pretty much anyone else in the series.
You see,
at the start of the story, his biggest wish is finally finding a way to perish.
You see, that's what I'll be saying. Like, you gotta watch everyone you love and every connection you make if you're immortal. Every connection you make over time, they're gonna grow old and die. But you will be the only one. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. My bad, y'all. My little brother, man.
Everything he does is fueled by hope that somewhere out there, something exists powerful enough to finally kill him for good. But then,
he got a knife in his chest.
Izumo. Both of them end up joining an organization called Union, taking on other negators. Fuko has Unluck, meaning she cancels out luck itself, causing massive, catastrophic misfortune to anyone she touches.
Oh my
and the
god.
more she cares about someone, the worse the bad luck gets. For pretty much anyone else,
so he's gonna try to stay with her?
Close to her, kind of impossible. But Andy is the single exception. Since he cannot die, he's the only person who can actually stick around her without worrying about the consequences of her power. In fact, that opens the door for the two of them to fight together in some really absurd ways. There are moments where Andy will straight up throw himself into chaos on purpose, letting Fuko's Unluck trigger massive disasters such as a literal meteorite. His immortality will protect him, but the enemies will take the actual damage. And on top of that, the closer she gets to him, the stronger her Unluck becomes, meaning that this combo slowly becomes more and more brutal. For Ajin, immortality means you can fry your body like
Yo, like, so, dang. You see, even that the dude they was just talking about, what was his name again? I literally forgot it already. Good lord. We just gonna call him Undead, man. Even the Undead, the dude from the MC from Undead, even he wanted to die, man. Watching everybody you love around you just keep dying and dying over and over and over. Ain't nothing you can do about it either, man. It's not like you can share your power.
And deliver it to someone as a tactical move. Let me explain. Ajin takes place in a world that's basically identical to ours, except for one tiny little detail. There are people called Ajin, or demi-humans, who can literally rebuild their body whenever they die, regardless of how insane
I've seen something
it
like this before.
Instead of, being celebrated by the world for this insane ability, governments capture them to then run horrible experiments.
Oh my god.
Yay! But amongst everyone, there is one demi-human who's had enough and decides to do something about it. Enter Sato. Sato is the main bad guy in the series, and his whole mission is getting everyone to treat demi-humans as equals. Pretty reasonable. But to pull that off, he ends up going to war with the police, entire armies, and even other demi-humans. Much less reasonable. Now here's the thing. Since he used to be a
now, him going against the government, because it sounds like the government is tripping in this, I ain't gonna lie. But killing your old brethren?
Special Forces agent, he has insane combat skills, sharp tactical instincts, and decades of military experience. Because of that, he knows exactly how to turn his immortality into a weapon. But the craziest part is
that's what I'm saying, yo. Honestly, it was like a movie I watched. It's called like The Old Guard. Yo, they were some of the greatest fighters. Like, if you're an immortal, you have to, like, and you still can't fight after that long, I ain't gonna lie, you just don't deserve your power.
This is only a small, tiny piece of why this man is so dangerous. Beyond being an obvious war genius, Sato also has this weirdly childlike personality. He's obsessed with video games, curious about everything, and basically incapable of feeling fear. While everyone around him hesitates before diving into danger, which is, once again, very reasonable, Sato never hesitates. And even though every other demi-human has access to the exact same powers as him, he's the one who uses them in the most creative, unhinged ways. Okay, like at one point, knowing that an Ajin's body rebuilds around the biggest chunk of remaining flesh, Sato sends his own hand into a heavily secured building by hiding it inside a food delivery box. Once the hand is inside the building, he jumps into an industrial meat grinder to obliterate the rest of his body, which makes him instantly regenerate inside the building, inside of the chicken box. In another scene, he is
that's beyond creative. That's just borderline psychotic, man. It's not even borderline.
And uses the sheer force created by the regeneration process to drill straight through a reinforced wall that's supposed to be completely invincible. And sure, the dude says his goal is bringing equality to the world and all that stuff, but more than anything, he loves the challenge. Every mission is just another puzzle to him, another chance to test himself against tougher opponents.
Who MC in this thing?
Literal armies of
they say that he's the antagonist,
Put
right?
all that together, and you've got a guy who constantly escapes situations that should be impossible, earning him a reputation as a man that can simply not be defeated.
Bro ain't stopped
For
smiling
Naruto,
one time.
Immortality means learning absolutely every single thing the world has to offer.
At
its heart, Naruto is
I almost called him Orochimaru.
a story about legacy. Every major character is shaped by the people
I was thinking
who
his
came
name in
before
my
them,
name.
whether that means carrying on their will, trying to escape their past, or literally being their reincarnation. Yet, one character rejects all of that and makes it his life mission to live forever. This is Orochimaru. Orochimaru starts out as one of the good guys. He's a genius that is widely considered as one of the greatest ninja of all time. But after losing his parents young and watching so many people perish during the Great Ninja War, he starts to worry about how fragile and temporary human life actually is. In turn, he abandons the village to chase forbidden knowledge and to learn every jutsu that has ever existed. A goal he quickly realized
That shit was cool. That shit is still crazy to me.
Is impossible within the lifespan of a normal human being. And if he actually wants to unlock everything the world has to offer, he has to solve the one thing standing in his way: death itself. He starts performing twisted experiments, hurting innocent people, and sacrificing anyone he can get his hands on, all in the name of chasing more knowledge.
He was wild,
His main way of staying alive is a technique that lets him transfer his mind into someone else's body. And the second his current body starts falling apart, he abandons it and finds a new host. Throughout the series, Orochimaru is constantly on the hunt for powerful individuals, desperate people who genuinely think he's helping them out, only to turn them into vessels. Even when his body is destroyed, Orochimaru is never truly gone. Bits of his consciousness live on through seals he's planted on other people, or other vile methods he's invented throughout the years. For him, immortality is just a way to chase something much bigger, unlimited knowledge. The problem is that knowledge
unlimited knowledge
and
power.
Every answer leads to more questions, so his craving is never satisfied. The series even reinforces this through his design. Orochimaru is constantly linked to snakes, animals famous for shedding their skin and being reborn over and over. In fact, there are also animals associated with the Ouroboros, an ancient symbol of a snake eating its own tail, representing the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth.
Oh my god, I didn't even think that deep. Good lord, oh my, I'm glad I watched this video. Oh my god, if I had a soundboard, I would have been smacking that bitch right now. God damn.
Okay, so for the next depiction of immortality,
now you
I'm
could,
kind of
brother,
excited because this is my wild card pick, meaning it is not an anime, but it's still amazing. Check this out. If you are, anywhere as ancient as I am, you might have heard
of that Samurai Jack
called
Come on, man. I know Bull, man. Stop playing with me.
The story follows Jack, a wandering samurai trying to survive in a
been a minute since I watched it, though.
Where the shape-shifting monster Aku has basically conquered the entire planet. Most episodes throw Jack into a brand new story with new characters who live in their own unique world. And one of the most goated episodes is Jack and the Lava Monster. Basically, Jack enters a mountain full of these deadly traps, and after having successfully overcome every single one of them, he runs into this giant creature made of lava.
Bro, I don't know why me seeing this dude Jack wearing those sandals or whatever. I don't know why. I don't know if y'all know that song Socks and Sandals from those dudes from Disney. Yo, I don't know if that shit used to have me in tears when oh my god. That shit just brought back so many memories. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, this seems like a pretty basic situation.
Socks and
However,
sandals,
as the
blah,
battle
blah.
unfolds, Jack notices that the monster seems extremely eager to fight. Jack refuses to continue, and that is when the creature tells its story. Long before their fight, the monster was a proud Viking warrior who lived in a beautiful city alongside his family and friends. Their life was peaceful and prosperous. Until one day, Aku...
Oh, yeah, I understand. I ain't watched Samurai Jack. I ain't lying. Samurai Jack was on when I was probably like... Shit, I had to be probably like maybe under 5. Probably younger.
Attacked.
Probably older. A little bit older, maybe. I don't know.
Fought back with everything they had.
Been that
but
long.
It wasn't enough. One by one, everyone fell until the Viking was the last one standing. He fought Aku himself, but even he was defeated. Like many warriors in Norse mythology, he believed that dying in battle would allow him to enter Valhalla, where he would spend eternity beside his
family
warriors.
And friends.
But instead of finishing him honorably, Aku imprisons him in a crystal.
Oh, that's nasty work.
His city and everyone in it is destroyed. Rather than allowing the Viking to die an honorable death, Aku traps him deep within the mountain. And over centuries, his body fuses with the surrounding stone and magma until he becomes the enormous lava creature Jack encounters.
Oh my god, that's foul. I don't understand if you want to die. What do they call? What do they call? What do they call? I feel like I heard it. Is it? It's not Hell. Is it Helheim? No. Or is it Nihilheim? Ah, damn. Like, damn, I forgot. Damn. I might be. It might be both. I might be wrong.
Instead, it was afflicted upon him, and suddenly, every trap inside the mountain makes sense. They were never built simply to kill people coming in. They were designed to bring the strongest warrior imaginable. For centuries, the lava monster has been searching for someone capable of giving him peace by defeating him. And now, Jack understands that he isn't fighting an evil monster. He's helping a fellow warrior achieve the honorable ending that was stolen from him. When Jack finally defeats him, the lava monster turns back into the glorious warrior he once was, and slowly ages into an old man, too weak to even hold his own sword. Freed from Aku's curse at last, the Viking dies.
Damn.
A ray of light appears from the sky, and the Valkyrie arrive. As they take him to Valhalla, the warrior smiles at Jack before finally being reunited with his fallen family and welcomed by the Norse gods. For the anime To Your Eternity...
Yo, I did not... I might have to really watch all this. I do not remember Samurai Jack being that deep. I just remember him being cool with a sword, man. It's so crazy how different things are when you're younger, bro. I did not realize that show was that deep, bro. That's what's up, man. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Nihilheim? No. Oh, damn. I'm sorry. I might have to look this up, yeah. Give me a second. I gotta look this up. I was right, yeah, boys. It is Helheim, man. See, your boy was paying it. See, this is the one I was talking about. This one, Niflheim. I heard it. I think I heard it from. I don't know if you know that show called The Last Kingdom. That's where I heard this before. I forgot what her name is. It? I think it was Gerda, something like that. She said that's where. I don't want to spoil it for you, but she said that's where somebody was to Ragnar.
Immortality means an epic, beautiful journey
Ragnar,
where you meet
Uhtred.
hundreds of unique individuals that will impact your life for eternity.
I haven't seen this one either, but I heard this is insane.
That's sent to Earth by some unknown god thing. At first, it takes the shape of whatever's around it, and eventually, a wolf. At some point, it stumbles onto a lonely boy living in an abandoned village. And after the boy dies, the orb turns into him and starts taking its very first steps towards becoming conscious. From there, the story follows this creature who eventually receives the name Fushi. At the beginning,
So it's an
Fushi
alien?
has no sense of what is right and what is wrong, no ability to speak, and no understanding of the world whatsoever. In a lot of ways, he's like a little kid experiencing what it means to be human for the very first time. Which is exactly why this is one of the weirdest forms of immortality I've ever seen, to be honest. Fushi himself literally cannot die, even if his current body gets completely
Yeah, doesn't he just turn into whatever he kills or something like that? I'm tripping.
destroyed. He eventually regenerates and comes back. But much
Damn.
more importantly, whenever someone leaves a strong enough emotional impact on him, he gains the ability to turn into them whenever he wants. But only after they die. And I do not mean that he just copies their appearance. No. He perfectly recreates their physical abilities, like the ability to climb trees or shoot a bow, whatever. Every arc brings in new characters with different dreams, fears, and ways of living. And almost all of them eventually die, meaning they all literally become part of Fushi, who he is. And the longer he's alive, the more he turns into this collection of everyone who's ever loved him, carrying the lessons he learned from.
Oh my god, so damn, so every time he dies, he takes a part of what somebody was and then carries it on to him.
Each of them. Every relationship
These
creates
authors be
another
cooking,
future
man.
heartbreak waiting to happen. And yet, he keeps forming those bonds anyway. Because he's been around for so long, he ends up in this unique position where he can actually see how even the shortest lives leave a lasting mark on the world. A kid he only knew for a couple of years might end up shaping decisions he makes hundreds of years later. One tiny act of kindness keeps rippling outward long after the person who did it is gone. Through one individual, he learns how to read and becomes curious. Through another, he learns there's way more to someone than just how they look. And through another, he learns how to take care of people. Instead of treating immortality as some kind of curse or blessing, the show uses it as a way to explore the entire human experience, if that makes sense. As long as he keeps living, none of the people who shaped him are ever truly gone. They all keep existing through him.
Damn, bro. So you see, this put a new perspective on immortality for me because I was strictly thinking of it through like pain and suffering and what Subaru and them had to go through. Like Subaru, the dude who's always on fire. I always forget his name. It's that manga. The dude's always on fire and he can never die. They're just eternal, like it's just eternal suffering. But for this dude, Fushi, it's just certain. What I'm trying to say, certain. Like he just said, little acts of kindness somebody does in the past can affect what he does hundreds of years in the future. You know, you get what I'm trying to say, man.
And for Frieren, immortality means learning to cherish the people in your life. Frieren Beyond Journey's End kicks off right where basically every other fantasy story ends. The final boss is already dead, peace is back, and the legendary hero's party goes their separate ways after finishing the biggest adventure of their lives.
The only thing I remember about Frieren, I think she just didn't in the beginning. She didn't. I forgot me. It might have been only one episode. It might have been more, but I don't think she really understood the what's it called? The importance of time.
For Frieren, that is just the beginning, literally. Unlike her human friends, she is an elf who has already lived over 1,000 years. Meaning that for her, immortality is not some kind of special power. It's just how long elves live, naturally. Decades after they beat the Demon King, she finally reunites with her old party. But she's aged so slowly that all this time passed without her looking any different. Unlike her human friends, for whom 50 years is basically their whole life. They've all grown old, and pretty soon after, the hero Himmel passes away. At his funeral, Frieren suddenly bursts into tears. hit with the realization that even after spending 10 whole years traveling right next to him, she never actually understood who he really was. And now, instead of going onto some other insane world-saving quest, Frieren wants to finally understand humans and to learn about the people she's lost. As she goes on her new journey, she keeps stumbling into places she visited years ago. Stuff that felt totally unimportant back then suddenly feels precious now, because she realizes she'll never get to experience any of it with those specific people again.
See, this is why you always got to cherish the time with the people you love, bro. That one episode of Fearing, like, legitimately, like, really, like, opened my like, it didn't open my eyes because I always, like, kind of knew that, but it really, like, put that, like, into, like, it made me really think more, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, the people I truly care about, am I really spending as much time with them as I want to? You know, you feel me? Even friends and family. My friends, low key, I feel like I don't be, I mean, I love my peoples, man. But it made me realize that I was like, damn, 'cause I do be fake distant, y'all. So the shit put that, I was like, damn, let me just check in more. And I've been a little bit better at it. I'm not gonna lie, but that's definitely gonna be another goal of mine to really check in, really be, really be around the people I care about.
Slowly starts fixing the mistakes she made in the past. She listens more, gets genuinely curious about people's lives, and starts making memories with her new students Fern and Stark on purpose. Even her little weird obsession of collecting random spells, which at first just seems kind of quirky, ends
But still, don't forget, if anybody ever sees this, we'll forever spam in the comments. Fuck Mac.
up meaning way more than that, since almost every spell has a memory,
That's my
or
guy.
a person, or a place attached to it. At the start, she comes across as pretty cold, but not because she's cruel, but because she's already seen everything. I mean, yeah, when your life stretches across thousands of years, it's easy to just assume there's always going to be another chance to visit an old friend, ask that question you've been putting off, or say how you actually feel about someone. She has seen everything, except that for humans, there usually isn't another chance. In that way, Frieren gives us one of the most human takes on immortality anime has ever done. As silly as that might sound, Frieren isn't trying to beat immortality. She's actually trying to beat the mindset immortality gave her. And in the end, the one character who had all the time in the world is the one who spends the whole series learning that time is actually the most valuable thing you can give someone else.
Oh my god. Oh, what is his name? Pavlover? Hope I said that right. I ain't this is a 10 out of 10 vid. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 vid. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely a 10 out of 10 vid. The ones that after listening to him, the ones I really, really, truly want to watch, I'm not gonna lie, is the last two. He said Eternity and Frieren. I gotta finish Frieren. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta stop starting things and never watch and finishing them. Because I feel like I think I've seen like 10 episodes of Frieren. I might be lying though. I might be lying. It's either 10 to 2. 10 to 2. Nothing more than that. But yeah, man. All these takes on immortality, like shit really opened my eyes, man. Especially one with Frieren, but he said time is truly the most valuable thing all people have, man. And a lot of people take that shit for granted, man. Even me, I was taking it for granted with this, putting off on the videos, procrastinating. I was like, damn, I could just do it another day. But never take time for granted, y'all. You never know what could happen. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. Share this with people and everybody in the comments. We're gonna spam fuck Matt, fuck Thor, and yeah, we out, man. LeBron on me, LeBron on 3, LeBron.
Baby, do you want